Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Schultz, and I just wanted to start off by showing you something. This right here, that picture, that was me 6 months ago. 377 milligrams per deciliter. The machine was screaming at me. Orange alert. High glucose. When I looked at the screen, it literally said HI because my sugar was too high to even read. And when I saw that, you know what I'd do? I'd laugh. I'd look at the machine and say, "Hi, how are you doing?" I know it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny, It wasn't because it wasn't because I wanted to die. It was because I genuinely didn't know how I was going to fix it. So I laughed instead. I've been a diabetic for over 10 years. 10 years of ignoring it. 10 years of checking my sugar, seeing high on the machine, and moving on with my life. I was on 35 units of Lantus every night. And my blood sugar was still out of control. I was also drinking 4 to 5 Dr. Peppers every single day. And not just cans, 20-ounce bottles. When I do it, I'm going to do it right. That's over 300 grams of pure sugar going into my body daily. My pancreas never had a chance. Then one day, at work, half my face turned numb. Just like that. I tried to shake it off, told myself it'll pass. But as it got number and number, the anxiety overtook me. I told my boss, you know what? I gotta go to the hospital. They kept me overnight for testing because I had a stroke a year ago and they were worried that's what it was. Until they tested my blood sugar and seen that it was over 500. They put me on a low-carb diet immediately. They diagnosed me with trigeminal neuralgia and they sent me home. But something shifted in me that day. It wasn't enough for me to change my life completely yet, but it was there in the back of my mind. Then I went to see my doctor. She prescribed me Mounjaro and FreeStyle Libre 3 sensor. I had no idea what any of this was. Thursday, I put the sensor on my arm and over here, there it is. That was my number that day. 370, 371. My number's staring at me every 5 minutes. I couldn't look away. I could not pretend anymore. That night, I finished my last Dr. Pepper. I looked at it and I told it, "It's not you. It's me. My body cannot tolerate you." I drank the last one, took my first Mounjaro shot, and that was it. 2 days later, my sugar was running at 90 all day. It was a weekend. Couldn't get a hold of my doctor. Saturday night, I'm going to bed and my sugar is still 90 to 110. It was time for me to take my Lantus, the long-acting insulin, 35 units, and I was afraid to. My numbers were so low I didn't want it to crash. So I didn't. I waited and called my doctor's office Monday morning. And you know what she told me? The insulin? Stop it. Throw it out. After 3 days, only 3 days, I was insulin free. Gone. Not in 6 weeks, not after months of working at it. 2 days. And a lot of people say, no way you can turn that around in 2 days. I did. And, you know, look at the numbers right here. Now that's, 3 weeks later, but still, this is where I'm at right now. Green every single day. From an A1C of 13 to my doctor says my next A1C is expected to be 6.5. Zero insulin. It only took 2 changes. That was it. That was the day that I realized it was time for me to take control of my life. I built something called systems over symptoms because I know there are people out there right now who are doing exactly the same thing I was, laughing at their machine, telling themselves they'll deal with it later. On insulin that isn't even working, drinking 4 or 5 sodas a day without realizing what it's really doing to them. And nobody is being honest with them. The dietitian told me that I didn't have to quit soda right away. She didn't want me to feel bad about the fact that I could never have it again. I'm sitting there thinking, in a hospital bed, I am literally killing myself with the soda. And she's worried about hurting my feelings. I don't need the feeling police. I need someone to look at me straight in the eye and say, do you want to see your kids grow up? Do you want to feel the sun on your face on that hot summer day? Then buckle up. Get control. Stop making excuses. And that's exactly what this community is. In this community, you're going to learn the exact system I used to go from 500 blood sugar to 0 insulin. How to read labels and know exactly what you're putting into your body. Why your number spikes even when you're not eating anything. And that was a hard one for me to grasp at first. How to use your GCM or your CGM, your little reader machine, the automated one, correctly and safely. And the mindset that made everything else possible. This isn't medical advice. Everything I share is just my personal experience. Always talk to your doctor before changing your medications. But I'm living proof that only 2 changes can change everything. I don't know how I still have all my limbs after 10 years of not paying attention, but I'm paying attention right now. And if you're here, you're paying attention too. This is the first step. Before you move to the next page, I want you to do 3 things. 1, Go to the introduction section and tell us who you are and why you're here. Number 2, post your starting numbers in my numbers. Whatever it is, there's no judgment. And number 3, write down your why. Somewhere you'll see it every day. Welcome to Systems Over Symptoms. The system is here. The excuses stay at the door. Let's get to work.